They head to the town with Akira and Amelia, and they tell her she can win prizes by joining the pageant, so she decides to participate. They see a demon named Lottie, who's arguing with a receptionist, since demons aren't allowed to join the pageant. She thinks the rules are racist, but Akira finds it hard to believe that she's a demon, since he can't sense her powers. Amelia approaches the receptionist, who recognizes her as a princess of the elves, so she allows her to participate. Lottie tells Akira to convince the receptionist to let her join, but Amelia becomes jealous and asks him if he likes Lottie, so he tells her that it isn't the case. Lottie continues to argue with the receptionist, and Amelia tells him to help her, explaining that she has nothing against her. So he tells the receptionist to let her join, promising to stop her if she tries anything, so the receptionist allows her to participate. Lottie is glad that he helped her, but she recognizes Yoru, who tells her he made a pact with Akira, but it doesn't bother her at all. She decides to spend time with them before the pageant begins, and she introduces herself to everyone, telling them to vote for her so that she can win the contest. She gives a random person her autograph and tells everyone to gather around so that she can meet and greet them. Akira can't believe she's a demon since she's entertaining her fans, and Yoru notes that she's nothing like the others. Akira hears two girls talking about him, but they run when they see him looking at them, and Crow tells him he's famous since everyone saw him when he defeated the monsters to save the city. Crow notes that everyone calls him the Silent Assassin, and he gives him a yellow dog tag, telling him it's from the Adventurers Guild. He tells Akira that he's been promoted to yellow rank as a reward for defeating the monsters, and Amelia reveals that she's silver rank, which is higher than yellow. But she notes that it's lower than gold rank, which has been awarded to only 3 people in the world, and she reveals that Rose is one of them. Sato and Asashi tell him they're also yellow rank, so he can talk to them if he wants to learn how to make a living as an adventurer, but Amelia leaves to try the food at the festival. Akira orders Yoru to go with her and take out anyone who tries to make a move on her, so he watches her as she talks to the other candidates. Akira wonders why Crow joined them, since he doesn't seem to enjoy festivities, and he tells Akira he has a little sister, but she isn't the reason why he hasn't exacted revenge. He notes that he has simply grown too old, but Akira tells him he still looks young, so he explains that beast folk age in a different way, revealing that he has already lost a lot of his powers. He mentions that killing Graham won't be easy, since he has mercenaries guarding him at all times, and Crow notes that Amelia was targeted when she entered the country, since Graham sold the intel to the demons. Akira asks Crow if he's sure about it, so he reveals that he verified it while Akira was sleeping, and notes that he placed a magic crystal in Leah's staff, which allowed him to find out they were in trouble. He reveals that he saved them so that they would owe him a favor, and tells Akira he has a job request for him, but Akira is shocked as Crow tells him about it. He tells Akira to take his time to think about it, but Gillis notes that they need to find an inn, and Crow mentions that they can use his name at the pageant so that they will get a good spot. During the event, Yuki steps on stage, and Sato thinks she's pretty, while Asashi is glad that Crow helped them get a good spot, since Akira stands out in public. Shiori also gets on stage, and everyone thinks she's gorgeous, but Yoru knows that Amelia is up next. We learn that everyone's expecting her to win, and as the host introduces her as the next candidate, Yoru can't believe how beautiful she is. Everyone waits for the last participant to appear, and they see that it's Lottie, but she puts a crystal on the stage, which creates flashing lights as she removes her cloak, and she tells everyone to vote for her. After a while, the officials finish tallying the votes, and we see that Lottie and Amelia tied for first place. Lottie notes that she tried everything, but she still couldn't beat Amelia, and Akira tells her to be proud of tying with Amelia, but she wonders if he's starting to like her. So he tells her he only has eyes for Amelia, and she mentions that she'll win the pageant next year, but Yoru notes that her father won't be happy if she draws too much attention. She mentions that she doesn't care, revealing that she ran away from home after she had a fight with him, and Akira asks Yoru who her father is. So he reveals that she's the Demon Lord's daughter, which surprises everyone, and we see Graham watching them, as he mentions that he smells a good deal in the making. Akira checks Lottie's stats, and realizes that it's insane, but Amelia tells him she knew it all along, telling him to use his world eyes more often, since there are people hiding their strengths.
Just stress sweated through my third set of scrubs. Totally normal. It's very healthy. I'm sure it's not a sign of emotional unraveling.
Not at all. It is a sign you need new Secret Clinical Antiperspirant with 3 times sweat protection.
But what if I have sensitive skin?
Secret is made with luxury skincare ingredients, like a unique hyaluronic acid complex and actively strengthens your skin barrier with every use. For antiperspirant, that's also anti-irritation.
Thanks.
Got a bunch?
You must sweat a lot.
But you never know. Secret, stay fresher under pressure.
So you only check it twice? Huh. Nissan tests every model thousands of times.
We even test them for severe Arctic weather.
No wonder Nissan is J.D. Power's #1 in new vehicle quality.
Add a Nissan to your list at the Nissan year-end event.
Gillis reveals that they've arranged for their lodging, but he wonders if they need an additional room for Lottie, so she notes that she'll just camp outside, since she knows that humans are afraid of her. That evening, Akira wonders why Amelia needs to return tomorrow to claim her prize, and Sato notes that it's because the prizes weren't prepared on time. Akira wonders how he knows that, so he reveals that it's because he won the men's segment, and Asashi notices that Yoru isn't around, so Akira reveals that he sent him on an errand. Sato and the others leave to take a bath, and Crow reminds Akira about their conversation, but he notes that he still needs time to think about it. Amelia tells him to rest, since he hasn't slept for 2 days, and she takes him to his bed, where she uses her spell to make him fall asleep. She asks Crow what he told Akira, so he reveals that he just offered him work, and she notes that she won't let him do something he doesn't want to do, telling Crow not to compromise his way of life. So he explains that he isn't forcing him to do anything, but notes that Akira might compromise himself because of his desire to protect her. The next day, Lottie wonders where Akira is, so Amelia notes that he's still sleeping, and tells Lottie they shouldn't disturb him just to pick up their prizes. Sato thinks kidnappers will be waiting for them, but they think they need to be careful of Lottie, since they don't know what she's thinking. They reach an abandoned building, where they're supposed to pick up their prizes, but they suddenly get surrounded by criminals, who tell Amelia that Graham wants to see her. So she realizes that they're working for him, and she knows that he's evil, so she refuses to go with them. They prepare to take her by force, but she uses her gravity spell to crush them, and she asks one of them what Graham wants with her. He tries to play dumb, but she knows that he's lying, so she continues to crush him, and he agrees to tell her everything he knows. He reveals that the winners who were kidnapped had their organs harvested and sold, and Graham paid everyone to stay silent so that they wouldn't spread rumors about it. So she realizes that they were planning to sell her off, and she prepares to crush them to death, but Lottie stops her, telling her not to kill them, because even criminals have their own story. We see that Akira can see what's happening, since his mind is linked to Amelia's mana, and he's glad that Lottie stopped her, since he didn't want her to need to kill anyone. Akira asks Gillis about his relationship with Crow, so he notes that Crow used to take on disciples, and his mother was one of them, but she couldn't handle the training and lost her mind, so Crow ended up taking him in. Akira can tell that Crow is the type of person that looks after people, and Gillis tells him to make up his mind about returning the favor to Crow, because he doesn't have much time left. Yoru returns from his investigation and reports that it was Graham who planted monitoring devices at the pageant. Gillis realizes it's the same device that was used back in the palace, recognizing it as a camera, and Akira is surprised he knows about it, so Yoru notes that they learned about them from past heroes, who shared and recreated them using magic. Gillis mentions that it also applies to things like their clothing and their food, which have all been influenced by past heroes. Amelia and the others return, so Akira calls them to have a meeting. He asks Sato and the others if they knew the pageant was connected to human trafficking, so Asashi apologizes for not telling him, but he mentions that they wanted to prove that they wouldn't just get in the way, even though they didn't do much in the end. Akira decides to take over, since he doesn't want Graham coming after Amelia, and Crow notes that he needs to head to the capital city, since Graham is acting as the guildmaster there. Asashi still wants to help, but Akira tells them they would only get in his way. Crow also mentions that if Akira helps with his request, he will act as a guide for them through the demon territory, so he tells him he will think about it. The others make a plan to go ahead and wait for him on the outskirts of the demon territory, so Crow suggests an old safe house his party used in the past. After that, Amelia goes to talk to Crow, and she tells him to stop burdening Akira, but she also asks to become his disciple. She notes that since she's being targeted, she wants to become stronger so that she doesn't end up forcing Akira onto a path just to protect her, and Crow considers it since he thinks she might be able to handle his training. Gillis and the others see Akira off, and he hands him a bag. He notes that when Akira packed his things as he was leaving the palace, he left it behind. Akira wonders what it is, but Gillis isn't sure, but he notes that it was prepared by Saran, so he thinks it will come in handy. Asashi tells him to stay safe, promising to have gotten stronger by the next time they meet, and they all watch as he heads off. We see Amelia exhausted from her training, and Crow notes that she's his only apprentice who has ever made it to the third day, but he expected this since she's a person that he admired. Akira wonders what he means, so he mentions how she seemed like she was out of a legend, since she created magic that repelled monsters and even resurrected the dead, and later on, when he was asked to help name Leah, he even used part of Amelia's name as inspiration. Akira wonders why he was hard on Amelia when he first met her, but he found her more down to earth than he had imagined, and after training her, he can tell she's the real deal. He mentions teaching her the first hero's counterspell skill, which can negate any magic just by observing it, but it requires first learning an ancient language, which is incredibly complex, with each character carrying magic that can shatter a person's mind if they aren't careful, but Amelia was able to create her own comprehension skill to learn it. Akira wonders how Crow was able to learn it, since it's so difficult, so he mentions that time was on his side. He explains that beast folk have a lifespan twice that of a human's, and his mother took strange drugs while she was pregnant with him, so his life is even longer. Akira thinks he was lucky, but he is actually tired of living, but he can't die until he has avenged his sister, so Akira...
This is you. Wait, no, this is you. And you want to conquer the world of Albion? Here's what you have to do. Craft a pickaxe, gather some more, smelt the ore, make a set of armor, craft a... Huh? No, now's not the time for fishing. Go and craft a sword already. Now that you're all geared up, find a dungeon, kill the boss, get some loot, go to the city, enlist into a faction, conquer an outpost. What? Stop petting your enemy's wolf. Get back into the fight. You might learn some discipline by joining that guild. Follow the orders of the wise and noble guild leader. Perhaps it's better to create your own guild. Recruit players, go into the Outlands. Recruit more players, build a hideout. Recruit even more players, prepare everyone for battle, and conquer a castle. See? It's that simple. Now go out there, brave warrior, and conquer the world. Ooh, I suppose it wasn't meant to be. But perhaps you, loyal...
So Akira realizes he's had it rough. We see Yoru preparing to investigate the capital, but he runs into Lottie. She wonders where Akira and Amelia are, so he mentions he went ahead to gather information, and she suddenly decides to join him since it sounds fun. When Amelia wakes up, she finds that they have arrived in the capital city of Urek. Crow mentions he will go to prepare their lodging, telling them they have time to look around and meet up with Leah at the central fountain. Akira and Amelia decide to have a date, and Akira tells her to eat as much of the food as she wants as a reward for studying the ancient language so hard every day. She wishes they could be like this every day, but Akira hesitates as he thinks of something, but she tells him not to worry because she's about to become stronger, so he won't need to worry about her anymore. They meet up with Leah by the fountain, and she's happy to see them again. She acts as their guide around the city, and she takes them on a boat ride. They see the palace in the distance, and Leah mentions that everyone is waiting to meet them there because the king has prepared a banquet for Amelia. Akira thanks Leah for saving his life back when they were fighting Aurum, and he asks her about her inverted barrier spell because it reminded him of Crow's magic. She's flattered hearing this, but she notes that she's nothing compared to Crow, and she's shocked when she finds out that Amelia is learning Crow's inversion spell. She also thinks that Akira's shadow magic was incredible, but he isn't so sure about it since his body just moved on its own. After that, they meet with King Igsum, and he notes that even though Leah is adopted, she's still his daughter, so he thanks them